for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all please come inside?
Friends, please do come inside.
I know after lunch it will be little difficult. I'll make it very light, same time easy to understand. To start with, we are living in the world of digital disruption, technological evolution, never experienced in the human history, right? If I put it in a simple two-line, converging trends in cloud, digital collaboration, mobility, IoT, Internet of Things, or IoE, Internet of Everything, which means today, anywhere, anytime access. This is the scenario we have been living, right? Since we are starting after the lunch session, let me start with a small actually incident so that you can understand the complexity of today's incident. When we talk about digital records, what does it mean, right? Then we'll get into the subject quickly. I'm sure this incident had happened in this year, January. This is the public news, right? MNC company in Hong Kong suffered a major cyber attack, resulted into loss of 25 million USD, right? Have you all heard this news? Let me tell you. So, on the MNC employee, he got a call. Other side, the person claims CFO of the company. This person belongs to finance department, accounts payable, right? The instruction coming from other side is you need to make a wire transfer of $25 million within 2 hours time, right? So this finance department employee is smart. He has gone through various awareness program. He is also aware. He is very clear that I never received such instructions via phone, right? I see something suspicious. Can you send an email? First he got a call, right? Other side claiming that I am a CFO of the company, calling to the finance department. The person is giving an instruction to do the transfer of 25 million. He did not do that. He said, I feel something is suspicious. Can you send an email keeping my managers, the head of the department in the loop? After a few minutes, that employee got an email, right? The origination email is from CFO, pretends to be a CFO of the company. He was telling that you copy my manager, other people, right? Head of the finance department, so that the trustworthiness is taken care. I can decide on the payment, right? So email also angirundhu varudhu. He is looking at the email content. Correct avarude manager copy pannirukanga. Other whatever names he told, all the people are there. But still, he is actually suspecting this could be a fraudulent call or the fraudulent email. He says, no, can you come on a video call so that we can have a in-person or the face-to-face meeting via video channel. Then within our time, they are scheduling a Skype meeting wherein CFO is there. The person claims CFO is there. The finance department manager is there. Head is there. Some of their colleagues also present in the video call, right? First, the initial 2 attempt, the phone call, he was thinking something is suspicious phishing, so he did not do the transaction. Second, email also, it came from that CFO ID, copying to the people. He was suspecting, he did not do the transaction. Third, the moment on the video call, if he sees that CFO person and the colleagues, he got convinced he has done a wire transfer of 25 million, right? Because this is the high volume transaction. Within few minutes, the CEO of the company, CFO of the company, all the CXO level, they got that message, whatever internal, the protocol they have, right? Then who approved this transaction? Who has authorized to do this transaction? Then only the finance department person realized that he fall victim, right? So this is one of the major attack happened beginning of this year. This is again suffered. This is basically MNC based out of Hong Kong. This is the open public news. It is available, right? So this is again, if you look at, there are 3-4 attack methods are used. Initially he got a call. What they have done? That is a social engineering. It is a phishing call, right? Somebody like could be imitating or using a AI, right, they can do the voice cloning. So that is what happened on the first instance to convince that finance department person. Second is the email. Email is phishing email because he knows the finance department emails, their organization domain. He created that fraudulent domain, then he created that ID, then targeting the finance team user. That's a phishing second technique. Third, how was it possible to bring the people, right, who similar or seems to be a colleague of this person, right, CFO, all those people. It's a deep fake technology. AI, using a AI, artificial intelligence, this is the basically deep fake. So they had happened, right? Finally, they have launched a complaint. FBI was involved. They have also arrested the person. That's a different story. Now you can look at the complexity of the security incident or the attack that happened, right? Involving various attack techniques, involving a phishing, involving smishing, and highly leveraging the artificial intelligence to do voice cloning as well as the video, right? This is what happened. Now let us get into the subject. I hope this would have given some momentum to get into the subject. Okay. Today I limit my talk related to only this section on 63, section 63, subsection 4A, right? So it talks about two things. A talks about identification of device. That's the first. Identification of electronic record. With example, I'll also talk about the example. Second is when you are identifying the electronic record, manner of protection needs to be demonstrated, right? That's the second requirement. Third is importance. I'll talk about how do we ensure the reliability as well as the chain of custody. Then if you look at this act, what it says is new act of law of evidence has been named as a Bharathiya Sakshya Adhinyam, right? 2023, which has replaced Indian Evidence Act 1872. So here if you look at section 62 and 63, right, of BSA provides comprehensive framework for the admissibility of electronic record as a evidence. So we'll also see electronic record, what they have added, right? Earlier in 65B of IEA, Indian Evidence Act, they have provided various things, right? The document, data, stored, copied, all those things. Now they have also added basically semiconductor chip, which talks about the RAM. I'll also talk about that. Earlier, if you look at the Indian Evidence Act, they termed only computer. Now wherever there is a reference, they have also added communication device. Computer or communication device, right? Other thing, on the electronic record, one more new addition they have done is a semiconductor chip, right? So if you look at, this is what I was just referring. Any information contained in an electronic record which is printed on a paper, stored, recorded or copied in an optical or magnetic media, whatever I highlighted in yellow, that is a new inclusion, right? Inclusion in this new act. Semiconductor memory which is produced by a computer or any communication device or otherwise stored, recorded, copied in any electronic form, right? On the left side, if you look at, I have also put the basically images. So somebody taking a incident in a mobile device, it has that particular crime scene, right? That is again the data, the information. Yeah, 63.4A identification of electronic record. What is important is we need to demonstrate that electronic record was produced by a computer or computer device. Computer ல இருந்து எடுத்தது இல்ல communication device ல இருந்து எடுத்தது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு. Example scenario I given, suppose there is a harassment case whereas email is the evidence. Email is having a text message. What is that harassment, right? That is vital for this particular investigation. So that's the case we are taking. Now go to the next. So if we take email as an example, then to identify how this is actually produced from a system, computer or the computer device, what all things we need to look at? Identifying a electronic record. If it is a email is the example, from email ID to email ID, then subject, then the message ID, then the timestamp, right? Few informations are available when you look at the email, but how we need to gather? Do the email header analysis. If you open the email and do the header analysis, you will get the information of from, to, subject, message, unique identifier, as well as the timestamp. This is the way identifying the electronic record. Next is we need to identify manner of protection. How this electronic record was produced from the system, right? Now if it is an email, whether that email is actually sent from a mobile or the computer device, that is where we need to ask this question. The type of device used to create and send the email. Is it a computer or smartphone, right? That's the first one. Second, if it is an email, which email client was used. Is it a Gmail or is it a Microsoft Outlook, or I have given some more example, Proton email, Thunderbird, whatever Outlook client used, that we have to identify. Third is service provider, which is basically a SMTP server of that email. Email is sent through that SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol, uses the port number 25, right? That is where the communication happens, email communication. So you need to identify the message, basically service provider. It could be mail.gmail.com. That is the SMTP server of Gmail, right? If it is other thing, Google, it will have a mail.google.com, right? Then again, how the email was stored. Email is sent, which means it could be two scenarios. One is email stored in that on-prem server, backup is available in a cloud, right? That clarity we need to bring in. Then finally, when you are submitting the electronic evidence, suppose in this case, email is actually taken, printout is taken from a system and submitted as evidence, how the process of retrieving the email for submission as evidence. These all things we need to demonstrate to meet this requirement. I will also talk about what is the conclusion. See here, say for example, like when we do this investigation, if you look at that sequence, email was created, sent using Windows computer, right? Windows operating system is Windows 10, and the Outlook client is, the email client is Microsoft Outlook. And it was sent through the SMTP server. If it is a corporate email ID, it would be like SMTP dot that corporate name. If it is a Gmail, smtp.gmail.com. Then the third is email was stored in a provider server, backup in the cloud. Backup in the cloud. Then the last is it is retrieved for evidence using provider's web interface. Because when you are taking the printout, what are you doing, or how do you view that email? Using a secure web client. It is Outlook client or any of the Thunderbird or the Proton client, right? Whatever I told. That is where you see it is a secure client which cannot be altered. From that you see, and then you are taking it as a printout to submit it as a electronic evidence. This is the whole example when it comes to identification of electronic record. Move on. The importance. Why is it needed? Three things we need to ensure to meet this legal compliance, right, related to this act. One is authenticity. Authenticity ensures electronic record is genuine. No one altered that particular message, right? That's one. Second is reliability. This is where you need to give that clear chain of custody, right? How it was produced, which computer. The previous two slides I talked about what is the device, which client is used, what is the email server, which means you are demonstrating a complete chain of custody. Third is legal compliance. If you take care of these things, then meeting the legal compliance so that we can admit this as a evidence, electronic record as a evidence in the court of law. By fulfilling these requirements, in this case, email is authenticated, then the manner of protection, that is transparently documented. Which system, what is the operating system, then again what is the email client, then how it was actually created using this SMTP server, everything is documented, which means chain of custody you are able to demonstrate, then making it admissible under section 63(4)(a). This is about the electronic record. Move on. This is about identification of device. This is what covered in 63(4)(b) of BSA, right? So how do we identify the device? Electronic record was produced by a computer or communication device. Communication device is the word newly added in this act, which means here clearly you need to demonstrate whether this is generated by a computer or the communication device. Is nothing but mobile is the example, right? So mobile device, everything. So here we'll take an example of text message conversation presented as a evidence in the harassment case. Earlier, identifying the electronic evidence, we saw email as evidence. Now is the text message which is sent from a mobile device. Let us look at how we need to demonstrate these requirements. Go to the next slide. So similar way you need to ask here identification of device, right? Which means if it is a smartphone, three things you need to ask. Make and model of the device. What is the operating system? Is it Apple, Android? What is the version? Then again, phone number, unique identifier, IMI, International Mobile Equipment Identifier, right? These details are important so that you are demonstrating when you say this is again collected or this is taken from this communication device. What is the make and model of the number? Which version, which OS runs? Then again, IME and the phone number of the device. Here, this is how it would be the scenario, right? If you collect this detail, if you do this proper investigation. The message was sent from Samsung Galaxy model S21. It is running Android 11 version. Previous slide. Yeah. It is sent from phone number. I have given the mobile number. Then the device IMEI number is this. IMEI number is again unique. That number needs to be captured here. Yeah. So describing the manner of protection, if you look at, it says text message was created, stored and retrieved, right? These three things we need to do. When we say message is sent from that mobile device, this is what involved in the harassment case, then we need to clearly say the messaging app, right? Is it a mobile default SMS, right? Or any other, the social media related, right? The apps are used, like example WhatsApp. Here I have put two things, SMS app, WhatsApp. Then the network service provider, Verizon, AT&T, Airtel or whatever it is, right? You will have to put clearly. Then how the message was stored on the device. Is it on the phone's memory or it is stored in a cloud backup? That clarity also we need to bring in. The last is how the message was retrieved for submitting as a evidence. If you demonstrate these things, then this particular class requirement will be met. So final conclusion would be here, text message were created, sent using a default SMS app in the mobile, right? That is from a Samsung Galaxy, that model number is given. Second is message were transmitted through Verizon network or whatever the mobile service provider, right? Stored. The data is stored in phone's internal memory. Then additionally, message is backed up on a Google Drive, right? So they have enabled to do the backup at the Google, right? SMS. Individually we will have to configure. We can move the data to Google Drive or whatever cloud, wherever you have a subscription. Now we are doing it right for WhatsApp, all the communications. By default, we sync to this Google Drive. Google Drive. So moment when you change the device, right, with the email ID, automatically your contact and all your WhatsApp messages gets actually downloaded from that. It is available on a cloud portal, cloud backup. The messages were retrieved for evidence using a phone's built-in export feature, and the exported file was verified authenticity using a forensic software. So this is how we need to identify electronic record. Three things: identifying the electronic record, then how this was produced, then third thing is important to make sure of integrity part as well as the chain of custody aspect. Similar way, identification of device, model number, service provider, how this data was actually taken from this device, where it is stored. This information we need to demonstrate clearly to satisfy or comply these legal provisions. Yeah, this already I spoke. Authenticity, reliability, and legal compliance take care of these three aspects. That's all I have. Yeah, anything? Thank you.